Okay, welcome everybody to the start of our new series, which helps us focus on fishing spots in and around South Africa. Today we're touching on a spot south coast of KZN, KwaZulu-Natal, about an hour south of Durban, in a small little town called Umtentweni. And the reason why I've chosen this spot is because I tend to stay down the south coast on our beach cottage a lot, and I fish it whenever I can. So this spot is one of my favorite on the south coast. Very, should I say, not very well known amongst the kayak anglers, but definitely one of the easiest places to launch, and you'll see why as we go through this video. From the aerial view of Google, you can see that there's a very safe place to park right next to a sort of shop kiosk on the top of the thing overlooking the bay. So your car sits on the hill overlooking the beach, and the reason why it's quite safe is if you look directly in front of the car park, about an angle of about 45 degrees to the left, should I say rather, there's a little bay, and you can literally push into this bay very gently, wash your feet nice and cleanly, and get comfortable before you actually paddle into the surf zone. So you watch the video, you'll see as I talk my way through the bay, protected little launch behind the rocks, as per se. So use a nice little place to hide behind the rocks before you negotiate the surf. Anyway, this is Tweni Beach, one of my favorite launch sites on the south coast. You can see here there's I'll film when I come in on a little bit of lower tide, you can see, but there's a whole set of rocks here, makes it gentle push in here. So what I do is I gently push in here. No surf to contend with inside behind the rocks, but then I go around the rocks over there. That's where the surf gets tricky. But yeah, I'll pop the camera on and record my paddle, and we can talk as I launch. You can see, or should I hardly see, in this nice early morning sunrise, is I'm now inside the bay behind the rocks. So if you look directly out to sea, there's a rock, a whole big massive rock area. There's a ledge, and it completely protects you from any surf. So the only waves you get here are little ankle snappers of about 1 foot, and not even 1 foot, should I say 10 centimeters. And hopping my ski, I can get comfortable, can move around, set, make sure everything's in place, bone dry, and now I'll turn left, head out through the gap in the rocks, and then once I'm in that gap in the rocks, you'll see how I'll talk my way through it then. Okay, as you can see now, well, you can't really see, but what's actually happening in this image is I'm paddling out of the bay. So I'm basically paddling parallel to the beach. The surf zone would be on my right, the beach would be on my left. So when the surf gets, or should I say when you get a really big swell or big white water, you got to be a little bit, on the ball to make sure that you don't get waves side on. But as I said, the rocks do protect you, so the waves fill up very quickly and disappear. So I'm actually paddling out at an angle to the left before I hit a hard 90-degree right turn. So I just got a little gentle wave as I sort of moved out through the bay, and you can see now I'm about to turn right and look out to sea. So you can see the sun rising straight out to sea. That means now I'm heading sort of straight out to sea. Okay, so the nice thing about this launch at Tweni now, where you see I'm obviously looking out to sea, is because of the massive amount of rocks on your right hand side, what tends to happen is there's a swell will break on your right hand side quite far out to sea, but it's breaking on a shallow rock ledge which you're still protected from in the bay. So for me, it's an indication of, is there any swell or any waves coming? If there's nothing breaking on that ledge, or there's no rocks wrapping on the point, waves wrapping on the point coming up, and I can obviously put the accelerator down and head out to sea. So I'm looking to the right, I'm looking out to sea to see if anything's coming, and I'm sort of going to time my launch, if you say. The most important thing is in a bay or a launch site like this is that when you decide to go, you go. There's no hesitating or taking 5 or 6 strokes going maybe, maybe not, maybe. If you go, you go. And I always say to the guys who've been launching, if you have acceleration, you have speed, you have a much higher chance of punching through a wave or getting through over a wave if a wave does come. So when I go, I'll put my head down and I go. And the nice thing is also in this bay, like I say, it's about 50 to 60 meters only that I have to accelerate for. So here we go. Okay, so we've safely negotiated the launch at Tweeny, which, as I said, is something always entertaining but nice. Here at this spot, one of the reasons why I've chosen Umtentweni is because of the variety of game fish that you can catch at this spot. As I said, it's not a very well-known spot on the South Coast, but I find it as a really, really nice place to fish for various reasons. One of them being predominantly most times of the year you can find live bait. So we'll share the coordinates here for you where I find the live bait. Obviously the live bait does move around because it's not sort of wreck based, but more around the nets and stuff and on sand. So I always try along the different shark net buoys first to see what the bait is where. Shallow, inside, outside, and then obviously one of my bait marks and find. And the type of bait you catch here is mast bunker, mackerels, red eyes, sand soldiers, sand mackerels, even sometimes you will find small bonnies, but yeah, so the bait is nice to catch, and it's a spot where I can fish with a lot of live bait. So once you have caught bait, or if you decided to fish bait in the summer season, because we get a lot of sort of rain in the summer and we get a very distinct color line in this area. The Umtentweni River flows quite strongly and you get a very, very distinctive brown inside area and a very, very clean outside area. This is partly due to the reason that the current here can be really, really strong and really fast. So you get a very distinct brown to blue color line, and it's a time of the year that you get, because you can catch the live bait as well, you can spend a lot of time targeting the tuna along the color line, and of course our good old friend the popcorn bream or dorado. So yeah, a good spot to fish for those various reasons and those opportunities to target those fish. So if you're living down south, this is definitely one of the spots to explore. Okay, so other than the other coordinate spots that we'll share with you here, where obviously I've in the past have targeted kuta and targeted tuna and things like that. Also because those sort of marks have hold bait, so the kuta and that sort of hang around those bait marks. But one of the other advantages of this place is on the inside, directly behind where the waves break, heading south. So if you're heading towards Cape Town, I'll do a couple of loops there, and I've found some nice Natal snook or queen mackerel along that line, sort of behind the surf, all the way up towards Umkamas. Yeah, Tweeny. So it is that's probably a good 4 to 6 feet. I've fished here quite a few times, so I've sort of got my line that I've studied and picked where I want to come in, but there is a big set of rocks here, and in the mid-break here there's a rock. It's like call it the full stop rock, because it just pops up out of nowhere, so you got to watch it. Also what it does, it makes the waves break really quickly on it too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and set myself up get myself as close to the back line as possible, follow out, look out to sea and see sort of what's happening out to sea, and then try and pick my gap where I'm not going to take, obviously not going to take a wave, but I'm going to ride a smaller one through the impact zone, surf it, and then duck through my channel between the rocks. So what I'm going to do now is I'll turn the camera around to face the front so you won't see what's coming from behind me, but you can sort of see sort of how I've plotted my way through this surf break. Yeah, there's some definitely large size swells coming through at the moment. So one of the things you can see when I'm coming in here after the set and riding a very small wave and just to push myself through the impact zone is, if you look very carefully, there's a surfer on the right and there's a big swirl in front of him. Now that's what the mid-break rock that I was talking about called full stop rock. So what I've done is I've positioned myself between the rocks for the bay on the left and the full stop rock on my right, and it's a nice wide channel, a lot wider than it seems, but it fills up quite quickly with water. So once you get through the impact zone, it's one of the sort of easier, should I say, softer places to be. So, you got to obviously get your timing really spot on here, but yeah, it's full stop rock on the mid break on the right, the big bay that we've launched safely on the left. Sort of towards the end of the video is directly in front of me. You'll see all the fishermen on the rocks. I'm now about to paddle between the gap and the rocks. So there are a lot of rocks on my left and a lot of rocks on my right. At low tide, the channel's very small, but at high tide, obviously, it's a lot easier to get through. So I'll sneak through this channel here, and I'm literally in 5 meters. I'm completely protected from any waves coming through due to all the rocks on my left-hand side, and it's a very, very safe bay. And you'll see the car park up on the hill to the right-hand side. So short walk to the car, which also makes it very nice, and as I say, very protected bay. Very simple beaching, and we have a very short walk to the car. So here we go, guys. That's the first of our sort of location series where we can focus on a spot and how to launch there and what conditions are like and what fish to target. Please don't hesitate to drop a comment or send us some questions you may have on the spot, and in the comments below, and we'll do our best to answer as soon as possible. But yeah, this is Umtentweni on the South Coast, and we'll be covering a few more spots over the next couple of months.